Hi guys, welcome to the latest Smash the Math lesson. Today we're going to be looking at dividing integers using the bus stop method. So like always with all the videos that I do for you, make sure you watch the video first without pausing it, then watch it a second time and then do the maths with me and pause it if you need to. Watch the video one more time all the way through and then attempt the questions. Remember, I always tell you where to pause it. Attempt the questions and then once you've had a go at the questions, then check your answers, okay? If you get most of them right, that's great. You can move on. If you don't, that's also fine, but make sure you go back over the video and look at the examples and don't leave the video until you've managed to get most of the questions correct. Okay, so the thing we're going to learn today, as I said, is dividing integers using the bus stop method. If you've looked at some of my other videos, remember integers, all they are is whole numbers. So we're not dividing any decimals today, it's just looking at using the bus stop method to divide whole numbers, or as we like to call them in maths, integers. Okay, remember, don't forget the challenge at the end. There's no point in doing your learning if you're then not going to practice. Okay, let's get cracking. So I'm going to show you some examples as ever. And then you can have a go at some questions. So, the bus stop method. Let's look at an easy example first, right? Okay, which looks a bit obvious. So, if we needed to divide 44 by 11. Now, you could do that in your head, but I'm going to show you the bus stop method because quite a lot of divisions you can't do in your head because they're quite difficult. So, it's called the bus stop method because this sort of box looking thing looks a bit like a bus stop. That's why it's called bus stop. And then we say the division in our head. So we go 44 and the first number, this number here, always goes inside the bus stop. So 44 divided by 11 and 11 goes on the outside. Okay? So this one's relatively easy. So we're going to say, right, first we start with how many 11s are in 4. We take the first digit of 44 and we say none. And then we carry our 4 and then we say how many 11s are in 44. We do our 11 times table. Easy. 4. Okay, so 44 divided by 11 is 4. That's just a basic division and carrying. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of other examples where are not that straightforward. Okay, so let's take, I don't know, 136 divided by 4. Okay, so we draw our bus stop. We say 136, the first number goes inside the bus stop, divided by 4. Okay, so that's how we lay it out. Now, we start with 4 and we say, how many 4s go into 1? Well, I can't put any 4s into 1, so I put 0. And we haven't finished with the 1, we're going to carry it over to the next digit in the number. Now I'm going to say how many 4s are in 13. Now, what's really important and a good tip, if you can, do the times tables of the number on the outside next to it. It just makes it a bit easier. So 4, we're doing the 4s here, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 36, 40, 44 and 48, that'll do. Now if you're confident with your times tables, obviously you won't need to do that, but if you're not, that's a good little tip. Write your times tables down the side. So how many 4s are in 13? Well, if we use our times table, we've got 1, 2, 3, okay, up to 12, so we've got 3, and then the difference between 12 and 13 is 1, okay, so we've got 1 left as a remainder, so 1, so we put our remainder there, and then we go 4. How many 4s are in 16? 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's no remainders, so that's our division done. So 136 divided by 4 is 34. Or there's 4 34s in 136. Okay, so that's another example. So I'm going to go over to the next slide now. We've got some more examples to have a go at. And then I want you to do these ones with me. So grab a bit of paper and have a go at some of these questions with me. Okay, so let's start with the first one here. We've got 84 divided by 3. Okay, so 84 divided by 3 equals something. Let's work out what it is. So draw your bus stop, and we're going to say 84 goes in the bus stop divided by 3. Okay, we could do our 3 times table, remember, down the side if you're not sure about your tables. Remember, you could do any table. All a times table is adding the number to the last one each time. Adding, in this case, adding 3 each time. Okay, might take you a bit longer, but that doesn't matter as long as we get the maths right. That's all that matters. So just going to do that to there. So How many 3s are in 8? Well, there's 2. And the difference, or the remainder between 8 and 6 is 2. So we're going to carry our 2 and put it there. And then we say, how many 3s are in 24? Well, it's easy with the times table down here. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's no remainder, so we're done. That's the answer. So if 84 divided by 3 is 28. Okay? Right, they get a bit trickier, and we'll see in a minute. So if we have a look at the next one, so 98 divided by 7. Draw our bus stop. Put our 98 in the bus stop because it's the first number, divided by 7. Okay, so we could write our 7s down. There's nothing wrong with that. Keep adding 7, keep adding 7, keep adding 7, and so on. Okay. Remember, you don't need to do that if you're good with your times tables. But so first thing we do, we look at how many 7s are in the first digit, 9. So there's 1 7. And there's remainder 2, because the difference between 9 and 7 is 2. So I'm going to squidge that, and I should have written that a bit bigger. How many 7s are in 28? 1, 2, 3, 4. No remainders, so we're done with that one. So 98 divided by 7 is 14. Okay, so that's 2 of the examples. So we've got 2 more to have a go at. So let's have a look at this third one then. (145) divided by 6. So let's draw our bus stop. And 145 divided by 6. I could write my 6's down. Remember, if I'm not too good with my tables. Don't have to. Okay. So how many 6's are in 1? Well, there's none. And then we've still got our 1, so we're going to carry our 1. How many 6's are in 14? Well, there's 2. It goes up to 12. And then we've got remainder 2. Difference between 14 and 12 is 2. Now, this is where it gets a bit different, okay? So now we carry on. We're going to go, how many 6's are in 25? Well, there's 1, 2, 3. Only 3. I can't go up to, oh, sorry, what am I talking about? 4. Okay, up to 24. So there are 4. And the difference between 25 and 24 is 1. So now we're going to carry our 1. And what we can't say how many 6's are in 1. We now have to put in a 0 underneath it. Okay? All right? And when we put a 0 underneath there, we always put a decimal place on the top. Okay? And we carry on. So how many 6's are in 10? Well, there's 1 6. Remainder 4, because the difference between 6 and 10 is 4, and we put another 0, and then we say how many 6's are in 40. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in 40. Remainder 4, because the difference between 36 and 40 is 4, and you'll start to notice something on this one. How many 6's are in 40? 6. Remainder 4. And this will keep repeating because this is now a reoccurring decimal. Okay, so we can put a little dot up there. This is going to keep going. It's going to be 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. Okay, so the answer, depending on how many decimal places you would be rounding it to, is 24.166 or 24.2 or 24.17, depending on what you're going to round it to. Okay, let me show you one more. So we're going to do 75 divided by 8. So let's do our bus stop. I've got all this room and I seem to squish everything in. I don't know why. 75 divided by 8. Okay, so we could do our, again, not sure your tables. Write them out. Keep adding 8. I'll do. Okay, so how many 8s are in 7? Well, there isn't any. We can't fit any 8s in 7, so 0. And we're going to carry the 7. Now, how many 8s are in 75? Well, I haven't got enough 8s here, so I'm just going to keep going until I get near to 75. Add another 8, add another 8. Right, there we go. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 8s in 75. Remainder 3. The difference between 72 and 75 is 3, remember? So we're going to put our 3. Now remember, now we've carried that, we need to give it a friend and a 0, and when we put the 0 underneath, decimal place on top. Okay, how many 8s are in 30? 1, 2, 3. And we've got remainder 6, because the difference between 30 and 24 is 6. Remember to put another 0, and we keep going. How many 8s are in 60? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. Difference between 60 and 56 is 4, or 0. And then how many 8s are in 40? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're done. So the answer is 75 divided by 8 is 9.375. Okay, so there's the examples for you to go through with me. Now remember, it's really important. What you've got to remember when you're dividing, let's get rid of that little weight up there, is if we're dividing and we're carrying a number here and there's no number underneath it to go with it, we must put a 0. And as soon as we put a 0, we must put the decimal at the top, and then we carry on. Just takes a bit of practice, that's all. Okay, right, in a minute it's time to pause the video. I'm going to show you the questions. Okay, so remember, pause it, have a go at all the questions. There's quite a few questions for you to have a practice. And then once you've done that, you can then check your answers. Please don't check your answers until you've had a go at the questions. Okay, so here come the questions. So you've got 3 sets of questions. You've got quite easy ones. These are a bit harder, just take a bit longer to do, and these ones are the shiny ones, okay? Right, try and do as many of them as you can, all right? Make sure you pause it, good luck, and hope you get them all right. Okay, hopefully you've done those questions now. Now I'm going to put the answers up for you, so make sure you've done all the questions, mark your work. If you haven't got many of them right, that's okay. You might need to just go over again what I've shown you in the previously. So you ready? Good luck. Here come the questions. Sorry, here come the answers. There you go. There are the answers. So you can pause those now and mark your work. Good luck. Okay, brilliant. Right, that's it then, guys. Well done. So that's the end of that lesson for today. So I hope you've learned something new as ever. There is loads more videos to watch. There's loads more videos coming up online for you to have a look at. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Remember, maths is all about practice. So the more you practice, the better you get. Okay. So what we've learned today is how to divide integers whole numbers using the bus stop method. Cheers, guys. Have a great one. Speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.